All right, so let's get it. Top of the morning. All right, two things I want to talk about. One, I want to talk about Claressa Shields. She had an interview, and when it was asking her about Tank Davis, she said something that pretty much I said, and a lot of you have said months ago, that Tank Davis is a scared fighter. But what I find really repetitive, completely stupid, and show you why there's very few real men left in this world, it's just males. You see how all of you guys were getting on Tank. Oh, Tank shouldn't be fighting Jake. Why is he ducking Lamont Roach? Blah, blah, blah. Now, of course, you got the Tank retards, okay? All these fighters, and they have these fans that they can do no wrong. But if another fighter does the same thing, then that person is a scared fighter, right? Okay, you go from saying that. Now, when Claressa says the same thing, because she's they're having an interview and they're talking about Tank, she's absolutely right. Tank was the one out of his own mouth talked about how he was going to fight everybody. Lomachenko, we know Lomachenko walked away, so that wasn't on Tank. But I'm gonna fight all the fighters that y'all want me to fight. I'm gonna fight all the fighters. Right? That's what he said, right? He gonna fight everybody, whether T.O., whether it's Shakur Stevenson, everybody. I'm coming for everybody. That's what he said. Now he picks Lamont Roach, which should have been Shakur, but he wanted to make excuses about Shakur didn't look good, Shakur trash. Then you flip-floppers jump with the whole, oh, he'll knock Shakur out. Okay, right. But we know how you guys are. So now Claressa says it. Oh, she's just mad because when he said, yeah, okay, that shit lives in your head only. You guys are like really, you love to complain. That's your problem. You don't care about boxing either. You just want to, what does everybody complain about? Boxing? Okay, everybody's pissed off at boxing, so let me complain about boxing. Let me just jump into this whole conversation, but you don't care. This dude has given no explanation as to why he's fighting Jake Paul instead of Lamont Roach. And for him to sit up here and talk all of this stuff about how he wants to go to therapy, but he thinks therapy might remove that killer instinct and all that. And well, without therapy, your killer instinct has already been removed because you ducked Lamont Roach for sure. There's no reason. Just like he made excuses for Lomachenko for ducking him, right? Okay, that way when he pulls the duck move, guess what? Well, hey man, I understand Lomachenko how he felt. Yeah, even when he was before the Lamont Roach fight, he was having these crazy conversations up there on the stage and talking like he's unsure of himself and talking about how people think he's gonna knock everybody out, but he get knocked out himself, just talking different. And you see his actions are different, right? So all of that Abdul Wahid shit. Remember I told you, I said, man, y'all use religion as nothing but a fucking crutch. When y'all go through stuff in your life and then everybody think that's the move to go. Then y'all become religious, but the same shit's still happening, right? You won't change, you can't change, you don't know how to change. So your prayers and your God isn't worth a shit. So you end up doing what? You end up, I need therapy. There's no telling therapy's even gonna work. So if life with all this money, life with all this success isn't what you thought it was, what is retiring on? What's life gonna be like when you retire? What kind of skills do you have outside of boxing? You just gonna live off your money? Come on, man. And next thing you know, 3 years later, guess who's back? I'm just saying. So when Claressa said what she said, I'm like, yeah, of course, because Claressa said it. Any other fighter, Amanda Serrano could have said the same thing. Y'all would have all agreed. Yeah, but basically, Claressa says it, and all of a sudden, oh man, she's still just mad because of this. No, that petty shit is on your mind. And be honest with you, man, it's a shame that grown fucking men don't have nothing better to do with their time but sit up and just glaze the hell out of these other grown-ass men. And anybody speak truth about them, oh, they're hating on them, or they're just jealous because we're being honest about what the hell is going on. And the dude who sits up at an interview, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I'm not the face of boxing. I'm just some fighter that fight. But then he goes out of his way to call Terrence Crawford a pussy. Terrence Crawford ain't shit. He's overrated. Y'all hyping him up. But is he going to fight Terrence Crawford? No. So why are you focused on Terrence Crawford? Yeah, but it's okay for him to talk his trash, right? Okay. Yeah, he's a scared fighter, bottom line. And you want to know what, man? Whether you think Tank could beat all these guys or most of these guys or whatever, the point is, he's scared. He's scared of getting beat, and he can make all the excuses he want. His fans can make all the excuses y'all want, but he's a scared fighter, and I agree with what Claressa said. I've been saying this shit for the longest. He's a scared dude, man. He's not as brave as even for me breaking down the fact that he's saying, like, y'all was blaming Floyd and Leonard Ellaby for holding him back, talking all this shit. Like, no, the fighter has the last say so on who his team picked for him. It's not them, it's him. They can't. Fuck you going to tell him, oh, you can't fight? No, that's not how that works. And when him talking about Floyd set him up because Floyd thought he was screwing his daughter, no, Floyd believed in you more than you believed in yourself. You were holding yourself back. Now Floyd is not in the picture, so who's holding him back now? You see what I mean about the flip-flop? And y'all still can't come to the understanding that, yeah, Tank don't want these fights. It's Tank. He's a scared fighter. Simple. The other thing I want to talk about is Mikaela Mayer. Now, I saw an interview with her. I don't remember the name of the woman that she's fighting, but she was talking about Alicia Baumgardner and different people. The Sandy Ryan situation, the rematch was supposed to happen, everything that was supposed to go down. And one of the things that she said was when they reached out to Alicia Baumgardner, they turned the fight down with no explanation, just turned it down, right? And I'm gonna tell you something. See, this is the okie doke. If a company like everybody that was mad at the PBC because they were like, PBC got all the fighters, they got all the welterweights, they got right, and they're trying to, with all of the so-called big fights, come over to the PBC. They don't want to make the fight happen if it's a cross promotion. And that was hurting the sport. Now, people like Roy Jones, what's best for Floyd Mayweather wasn't necessarily better for boxing. Roy Jones is one of the people applauding what MVP is doing. No, so they got all the female welterweights, right? They got all the big names in it, right? They're not trying to make them fight each other. That's not what it's so much about. You got to understand, how many of them are superstars? You understand the point what I'm saying? How many of them are standout women? So no, we'll take the Alicia Baumgardners and the Amanda Serranos and like those who have somewhat of a name or those who have a name, and we'll match them up against nobodies. Now we know the Katie Taylor situation. That basically was, Katie Taylor's not an MVP fighter. But at the end of the day, this is what I'm saying. It's one of these things where we'll match them up with just anybody. We'll make them the star of the fight. And basically, they're doing the same things. This is why these fights don't happen, and it's like no explanation, and it doesn't get publicized. So my thing was, when I told you months ago, they're not trying to put Alicia Baumgardner in there. Like, look, do you hear what Alicia Baumgardner keeps talking about? She want to go up and do this and do that. She's already in her freaking 30s. She's already in her 30s. What is she waiting for? And y'all don't understand this. So MVP is doing the same thing that the PBC was doing. Somehow they get applauded for this shit. Oh, Jake Paul is doing so much for women's boxing. That's always going to be the deflection and the camouflage. What he's doing for women's boxing, okay, but yet none of y'all are going, okay, y'all got all of the fucking top female fighters, right? So why aren't they fighting each other? Because they're trying to have a stable of where if we fight each other and defeat each other, and then people got losses, they're no longer the same. Well, this braggadocious, MVP is doing this and MVP is doing that. And what they do, the other deflection and camouflage, we're going to sit up here and talk about how women's boxing is this and women's boxing is that. Women's boxing, rah, rah. But yet, where are the fights at? Because outside of Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, name one fight that MVP has put on, and everybody's talking about that fight. This is the next, big fight that happened. See, I told you, man, everything about them is they're trying to do that Turkey Al Sheikh shit. Let's make a spectacle Let's every fight has to be, we're gonna overhype the fight. See, this is what kills the momentum. And this is exactly why boxing is in the position it's in. Greed, and I told you, once the money start to increase in women's boxing, you're gonna see the same thing happening that the men are doing. There's nothing that's going on that anybody can make sense of. Why these fights? Look, what's the other chick name that just beat Natasha Jonas? Lauren Price. When is the last time she fought? Right? But you see my point. You got these names that they want to fight and they get some momentum, and all of a sudden, boop, oh, the money's good. I don't have to fight right away. Okay, duck, goose. Let's pick and choose. This is what's happening. So if MVP, well, it's not even if, that's what they're doing. They're just doing the same shit, like I said, that the PBC was doing. And so if you guys are going to sit up here and criticize boxing and criticize the PBC, you're going to criticize one company, but you're a fan of another company. I'm not a fan of any of these people. And I understand what's happening. I'll tell you what, though. You see how slow everything is? You see how nothing's just happen rapidly? Well, you got people with that mindset like a Jake Paul to think. And they're trying to keep everything in-house. This is the PBC all over again. And I'll tell you what, if you guys are going to support these kind of fights and understand what the mindset of these people are, but you're going to support it, you have no right to complain, because it only lives because you allow it to. And I told you, if Alicia Baumgardner was trying to be that chick to go out there, she always talk. Every time you hear her talk, she got huge things coming, big things. We're doing big things. What the fuck are you doing? Look at her last fight. Now, who's next for Alicia Baumgardner? What's next? You keep saying you want to go up. Then every time you turn around, her very last interview, she's talking about Claressa Shields again. Now, she's the best out there, not Claressa. It's her, Amanda, and Katie. Right. But yet, two fighters that you still have yet to fight. And you keep talking about going up. You keep talking about you want to unify and become undisputed. You want to do this. You want to do that. You want to do this. But then you end up against an opponent that's not worth a damn. I mean, Caroline Dubois just called you out and you told her she ain't did enough yet. So, you see, this is what I'm telling y'all. They're all full of shit. And y'all can be all on some feminist shit or be all on this women's boxing rah-rah shit. They're game. They're full of game. Claressa Shields is out here and she's doing what she's doing. And we already know why the hatred is towards her. But I tell you what, which is stupid, dumb, racist, ignorant shit. Okay, but at the same time, I'm gonna tell you this. Women's boxing is just as corrupt as men's boxing, and you're gonna get the same exact results that you're getting from the men. Duck, goose. You haven't done enough. You're not on my level. But then I'm gonna go and cherry pick someone that's not on your level. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.